I just stay the fuck away. That's why I say I'm plugging myself out, stay the fuck away, because I don't need people to be fucking. Like I said, it's all about second guessing, and don't nobody want to be second guessed and shit like that. And I'm like, you know what? I've been doing fine. Not even up to this point, but I've been doing fine. Not financially. I'm just talking about my knowledge and what I know. It has done me well. Like as far as how I've been carrying myself.
You're saying you're well.
I'm fine. Yes, mentally I'm fine.
You got to worry about.
I just want to welcome y'all to the Jeffin with the Homies podcast. I am your humble host, Jefferson, a.k.a. Jeff. We are here with a couple of the homies. We got the boy Gil in the building.
A.k.a. Giltillion.
And we got the boy Melvin in the building.
Chocolate City.
Chocolate City.
This is episode 11. I hope y'all had a good week from last week to this week or whatever. Episode 11.
Episode 1E1.
A.k.a. Gil Raptor.
Gil Raptor.
Okay, nigga. You're like you a rapper and shit.
No, Raptor, not Rapper.
No, I'm saying with all these nicknames. That's what rappers be doing. Except
Nah, you know what I was gonna say? You said rappers. I was gonna say the fucking reggaeton rappers. Them niggas. Like as soon as the song ends, that's the reggaeton. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
The reggaeton people. You know the Latinos, the rapper Latinos. Like as soon as the song ends, these niggas just start promoting their producer, themselves, their label. They just go on a whole minute of fucking promoting the song list, everything. It's
Damn,
just
really doing
it's
all that?
it's a fucking mouthful. So, AKA Los Gran Negros, all that bullshit.
Okay.
Get the fuck out of here.
So how's y'all week been? Y'all weekend? How y'all been doing? Don't answer too quick. You know, take your time.
How was my weekend? How was my week?
Your weekend. I guess we're in the middle of the week,
All of
but
that.
How was your weekend going? You know, up until now.
I've been doing great. The only thing I can speak of is just familial shit, family shit. I just been kicking it with my family. That shit's been great. You know what I'm saying? I've been all smiles. I've been happy. Nigga, I've recently gotten into bonfires, so I've kind of been doing that for like I actually did that I think for like 3 days straight.
Bonfires?
Yeah,
At your peeps or?
I was just me and my girl and stuff. My girl was telling me too, like she was happy that we were doing this because she was all like, it just was relaxing. It was a whole vibe, just me and her and shit.
See, now you're gonna make me go.
Get in on that.
Get a whole patio set in a motherfucking fire pit and shit.
Yeah,
set up a whole vibe
nigga,
in the back, boy.
You just chiefing and I wasn't even chiefing in the car. Usually I just chief in the car, but nah, I was in the bonfire. Nigga, I was chiefing.
Yeah,
I didn't give a fuck. My kid was asleep. And it just felt good. My girl drank for the first time too. Like,
for real?
Yeah. See, that's how I know bonfires be doing something. Like, what is that? You know how we was drinking on those Monacos or whatever. Yeah. She was drinking the Corona version of those or whatever. Because I guess Corona has their own version of that, and apparently that's the only thing that she can actually drink. And it's funny as hell.
You should put her on the calls, or the claw.
Oh, the claw.
No,
her friends try to put her on the claws.
My girl been drinking those, and I took a drink of one, and it literally tastes like
trash,
like carbonated water type thing with a little bit of flavor, like. But it's got, people like them. I guess.
My girl, my girl's friends,
I think, or some shit like that.
My girl's friends try to put her on her claws, and she was really picky. She's picky with food. Same thing with alcohol, B. She was not hanging out.
Did she try it? Oh, she didn't even try it.
No, she tried. She'll take sips of things, but if she can't take the sip, she won't drink it. Like I said, miraculously, she was able to drink through these Corona looking things. I don't know what they were called, but it's literally just Corona. I call it a Corona Monaco because that's literally what it looks like to me. But it's funny as hell to see a non-drinker just drink. Cause to me it's dope because I tell her straight up, like you have the best qualities right now. That one drink will fuck you up, and it did.
Oh yeah, definitely.
She was already towards the end, and she's already here like cheesing, and I'm passing her the blunt, and so
trying to sneak that on.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe, bro. It's a vibe. I'm not trying to put my baby's information out like that, but yeah, absolutely, bro. It's just
yourself with the good bonfire.
That's what you need. Sometimes you gotta just plug yourself out, man, and then focus on what's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And just That's what my girl keeps telling me. You just gotta focus on what's in front of you and just be appreciative and be happy of the little things that you got going on right now. So, you're literally like, yeah, I guess.
For the time being.
For the time being. I tell her too. For now. For now.
Yes, definitely.
I don't want to get complacent.
Definitely.
I don't want to settle, baby. Exactly. I'm sorry. I don't.
You can't.
It's very easy. Your mind is just that easy. Would just flip to. I keep telling her that. But with time. Mel, what about you?
No shit.
Care to elaborate? Want to get vulnerable real quick with us?
Post Gil over here.
Yeah. I just been attending more to the garden because shit's actually been growing, and it's been cool. Like the shit that I'm growing now, I can actually eat it now. So I'm like, oh shit, it actually tastes like.
I've been
chilling. So I've been chilling, not doing a damn thing. And my man been working, growing up a skill, growing vegetables in his backyard and shit like that.
I gotta cut him still where he's like, yeah, they actually taste pretty good. Like this nigga's like, these tomatoes taste like tomatoes.
You are dumb as hell.
Hold on, Mel. You calling him dumb, Mel?
These
but what is a tomato supposed to taste like?
Schnozberries.
I was surprised because, like, I tasted a lot of vegetables, and I'm like, you can taste the bullshit from the real.
No,
it tastes like the real.
They actually taste even better when you grow them at home, especially tomatoes. Tomatoes get like a sweet taste to them, and they're my god, they're the best fucking.
My dad says the same
best
fucking
taste
thing
ever. I swear, yes,
true,
yes, they are.
The same thing with the cucumbers. He said he used to grow tomatoes, cucumbers, and he tried to I don't know what the fuck he else try to fucking grow, but yeah, hopefully one day I get into that gardening shit because it look like it helps motherfuckers out too.
It does take a lot of patience, but honestly, doing that, like I have the garden in the front, so that's where I get the best sunlight. But as I'm doing that, tending to the garden, I'm also just enjoying the little community I'm living in, just watching the kids out playing and stuff. Just watching what's going on around me, and just watching the kids be kids instead of being ratchet and just
what you see on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I don't see them filming each other. I don't see them trying to be like somebody. I just see them being kids, like how we used to be when we was kids. Shirt off, just back in the food, being loud and all that, riding bikes, falling off.
Out just in the neighborhood for real. They definitely don't be out in the neighborhood like they used to be.
They showed up.
I mean, but I didn't used to get to be out in the neighborhood myself though. I was one of them kids that we could only like for real like if mom couldn't see you from the porch. Yeah. That was about it. But I had cousins like them niggas would be blocks, neighborhoods over, kicking it with motherfuckers, this, that, and other and shit. But nah, that wasn't us.
My mom was like that too. Like stay your ass on the porch. Luckily, I had at the time when I used to live in Texas. Luckily, I had a few cousins that were living down the block, so their parents was cool with them coming over to my crib because I'd be like, nah, my mom don't want me to step out the front yard, bro. Like,
that's how it was at one point.
If we can kick it, bro, but we gotta stay in the front yard. Come on, bro. People be like, come on, bro, she ain't gonna know. And I'll be like, nah, scared as fuck, bro.
I'm not testing it.
Nah. No.
You have every right to be scared.
Not today.
And honest to God, when I finally was able to, when I did get the chance to go out, like go beyond my front porch, my front yard and shit like that. The first time I did some shit like that with some friends just down the street, my dumbass accidentally broke their neighbors across the street fucking glass. Like what you got in your setup on your crib, you know what I mean? That first door is glass and shit. Cause we started being kids, bro, and we just started throwing rocks at his house and shit.
Oh well, yeah.
Nah, because they kept talking about, he an asshole and this, that, other shit, and my dumb ass over here. Well, let's just throw rocks at him. Like, fuck it, let's throw rocks at him. But that's me being ignorant, being out in the world. You know what I mean? And I'm just like trying, just exactly. And then and then they never forgave me for this.
Damn.
But. Well, not them, their mom, because she looked at me like, nah, you was culpable for this. It was your fault. All of a sudden, you start hanging out with them, they start hanging out with you, and this shit happens. I accidentally, I'm pretty sure it was me, but I threw a rock, and that's what I'm saying.
And how did you feel about that?
I blamed it on them. Because the neighbor came across the street, he came over here and was all like, who did that? And I knew these niggas was going to all point at me. Because we kids, you know what I'm saying? But I already.
Who threw the rock?
It was me.
Oh, well,
we was all throwing rocks. We was all throwing rocks. But I knew they were all gonna point at me. The whole point was, I'm like, we're supposed to stick to our guns and be like, we don't know. Nah, they was already, and I got the feeling they were gonna snitch on me, because this niggas were about to cross the street and they looking at me like, you better take the hit for this. And I'm just like, nah, we sticking together, bro. We not saying shit. And then when he gonna be like that, I just started pointing it out at them. I don't know, it was one of us, but we was just throwing rocks. I apologize.
That's funny as hell, just because like you saying that. I remember one time when I busted someone's window out like on their car.
Damn.
By accident, on some purpose.
I mean, kind of on accident. Yes, I had heard that if you took like a piece of a spark plug and threw it at a window, it'll shatter it. And I thought that shit was fake.
It shatters the
Really?
window.
And so I took this little glass piece, and the nigga was just driving. It was someone that my family knew or so. He was just leaving or so, and I just tossed that motherfucker like off. And he was driving like a Tahoe or Suburban, and it hit that back window, and it just shattered that whole and he gets out, he's like, damn, what the hell happened? And he's all like, what the fuck? Like he had no clue what the fuck happened. But
Like,
I never said anything.
like
but
me.
That's smart. See, look, okay, I'm going with my story. Like when I was little, when we broke someone's window, we ran. There was no time for nobody to see us. And most of the time, we'll be doing the bad shit at night, because that's when like our parents let us stay out later. But shit, nobody snitched. Nobody was around because nobody got time to identify us or nothing.
Y'all just ran, took
you
off.
know what? I was never, or I was, very fortunate that I never had to deal with was the being by the street lights.
Okay, the street lights was it?
When they was like, because my cousins used to have to be like that. Like, you got to be home by the time the street lights come on.
Oh,
I was like that.
I never had that
I was
shit.
like that on the weekdays, but on the weekends, it was free for all for kids. Like, nigga, we stayed out till 10 and shit. Just doing some crazy shit.
Now, when the street lights did come on, my mom was worried and scared.
We were never out far, but we were still out by the time the street, like, we would still be out, like, kicking in front of our house. Because where we stayed, like, right next to our school. And we used to play kickball right in front of the fucking house and everything.
Shit, like I remember as a kid, like we lived in an apartment complex. It wasn't like the best one, but it was comfy. I'll say that, and I definitely had some good friends there. Cause boy, that was a fun childhood with no money. I can say that.
Yeah.
Fun child, yeah.
Like
shit was the shit back then. You climbing trees, throwing acorns at niggas.
Kids. It's more like type of out in the country and stuff, so you get to enjoy actual fruit without having to pay for it.
Damn.
There's some places that were like that, yeah. West Bluff, I think, used to have fruit growing. I think they used to have apples and shit like that.
My aunt's crib at the Texas, back in Texas, they had some shit like that. The neighbor would have the tangerines, the tree, just hanging over on the other side of her fence, bro. Every time I used to go to her house and shit, I'll pick some of those and just have a good time and shit like that. So yeah, bro, definitely. Nobody was on their technology. But on technology, Joe Rogan will say that we're in a generation that we just addicted to technology.
It really is addicting.
We can't put it down. I'm making efforts myself.
I'm trying, and so let me say trying definitely, because it's more of me saying trying than me doing. Because if I was doing, I wouldn't be on the shit. But I'm making my way there to not being on social media as much and on those type of things. Right. I'm really trying to get to the transition and just make the mind change, and not just saying that I'm doing it, but literally make like the change in mind, like that I'm not doing it, opposed to just saying that I'm not going to do it. So I'm in that little pickle right now, but
well,
other than that, we good. We coasting.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. To be honest, you don't be active on social media and shit like that. Not no more.
No, I don't post.
I feel like that's part of your trying, right? That's your journey and shit. I mean,
well, I don't post. I don't post. Period. Yeah, I'll be looking, but I don't post just because.
Go ahead.
Just because people just post the most dumbest shit ever, and just they be killing me. No, because I found out that I really learned that motherfuckers literally would just be posting shit and saying shit that they're not even doing.
Yeah.
Like, would just be sitting there and be like, just saying like they out doing some shit or just some other shit. And
what the fuck?
Then you see them and you like
sitting there for a minute.
You seen that hoe?
Yeah.
That motherfucker been perched
bro,
there.
I hit that hoe and it didn't even want to move. It loves my Powerade.
The flies is they strong flies now. They like cockroaches. You smack them up, you can't just hit them with a normal paper, nigga. You got to go get a whole shoe or something now, nigga, because they use. I'm telling you, nigga, you can even smack them with them shoes sometimes, and them motherfuckers still be running and shit. You like, damn, I'm telling you, them niggas is strong. They strong, nigga.
Yeah,
they strong.
So back to this.
No,
speak
but I
on it, brother.
I don't want to speak too much on it.
Speak on it. Some. You gotta give the people some. You gotta give some. You gotta give some content.
No, there's just literally people will just post like they're doing shit, but they're not. Same as like, God, this is breaking us into that bag now. Okay, just is the only thing I can reference this to.
Let me get a hit
that is going on now that I literally just seen it on and that they covered it on social media, I believe, or saw. I want to say Philip DeFranco, but it may have not been Philip DeFranco, but it could have been Philip DeFranco.
Ahead,
but him just saying that, like, basically covering on people like what's going on right now with all these riots and all that. There's literally people that have been running up to the riots, posting pictures of them in the riot, or like doing things and then literally just getting in their car and then leaving.
Yeah, literally. They're
just
from the danger.
Yeah, they're not even in the shit doing it, or they're just posting shit saying about it probably, but they're not there. And people are doing that. Besides that, they're actually doing that normally just on their everyday fucking life, just saying that they're doing shit that they're not.
Bro,
and posting shit.
I kid you not. I saw
that shit's real.
I saw some goofy shit relating to that. Like this one white girl's talking about. She was making a scene. She was talking in third person, and this girl was talking about Black Lives Matter. Then she said, well, this girl said all lives matter. And she said, guess what happened to that girl? Then it showed the girl slumped behind her. It's like, I don't care. I'll do it again. And it's like, but did you really do that? Because like what that dude was saying earlier, you can't believe everything you see on the internet. It's like there's so many signs right there. That
you're right on that one. Exactly.
You didn't even lay her out. One, white kids weren't even having, because there was another group of white kids around, and it was a big ass group, but none of them was paying attention to what she was posting while she was talking on there. And it's like, I know you didn't do that because I know there would have been a whole group trying to help her ass up that you said you knocked out.
Well, I seen this video where where he was talking about it was this chick. She was acting like she was helping boarding up like
the
businesses or so. So she takes the picture of her boarding up the businesses, and someone's recording her as she's doing this. Like she doesn't know. She's taking pictures of her boarding the business up or making it look like that. Then she hands the hammer back to the man who's actually boarding it up, and then hops in her Benz truck and then just drives the fuck off.
They do anything for clout. They do anything for clout.
Oh my
they do
God,
anything
man.
for clout. They do anything for clout.
You know,
bitch, watch your mouth.
I ain't gonna lie. See you saying that right there kind of remind me of what I've been doing too. It's like I've been mentoring one of my coworkers on American history, and he's kind of not really liking his whiteness right now. He's questioning that shit. He's like, I don't even want, like, it has him thinking, I don't even want him to associate with half of my family because they harboring some hella racists in that family. But yeah, so it's got me educating them, but it's also got me like, am I like mentoring the right person on American history involving black people? And it's like, you know what? He has good characteristics, he has good morals, he has a good heart, and he wants to learn. So it's like, I think he's the type that's cool to actually educate on certain things so he can understand, so he can literally breed away that ignorant, dumbass racism that be happening in
So, do you consider yourself someone that's well educated?
I say well educated enough to guide someone to be, on a higher mindset. Not high where they are probably going to be much wiser than me, but just probably on my level where it's like, okay, he knows. He can. Well,
I'm asking you that just because then from there asking you, do you feel that you're knowledgeable? Segueing into, what do you think about this George Floyd stuff and the riots? Basically, that on the George Floyd, but police brutality and the riots of what they're rioting for. What is your takes on that?
Hey, I was gonna say, hold on, God. Before you even go in, bro, I just want to say,
I might forget.
No, I'm just gonna say this real quick. We not the most educated motherfuckers on this table, and because of that, I've been told education does not equate intelligence.
Nope.
So we may not be educated from a social sense. But one thing I know for sure in this table, in this very room, we do not lack intelligence.
Well, I'm saying educated as far as within, as he was saying, he was elaborating, telling someone as far as about like white people of his heritage, how they are and what they've done to us, and just being educated in the black sense or so.
I would say I am because I don't know why, but I have like this weird fascination on white people throughout the history, and it's like the more I learn, the more I realize.
So on this, what do you think of this, the police brutality and what's going on with the riots currently now? What do you think of the riots, and do you think that there's a better way of handling it or something else? Like, I
would say I thought of a few ways to actually attack this problem, where it's like instead of protesting, try boycotting, because boycotting is the most efficient way. The most efficient way to hurt a money hunger demon that wears a suit is to starve them of the thing that they always want from you, your money and your time. Because every time they always keep making new bullshit with black or African resources from the motherland to make their pockets bigger and leaving people starving in the background from their greed. And it's like, bro, it's been so bad now, it has fucked up the country. We literally they literally start wars just to make profit and to play with people's time and lives. So yeah, that shit right there was just literally me saying that in a very good high conscious state that I study that shit well. Like I'm talking about from the medieval times all the way up to now, and it's like, god damn, that's scary as fuck.
I wish I could pull it up. I don't. I should have had it on the ready as far as, because they are actually talking about boycotting after Juneteenth or so, like the day after or something like that. Start boycotting. It's supposed to be like they got like 5 days or so that they have set up as far as what they say to do, like day 1 through 5, and then they just repeat from then on.
I know, like people. I'm just letting you know right now. The first probably and most painful way to start your boycott is to boycott the restaurants that's trying to reelect a certain person. So starve them first. I know you like to eat out, but these people are supporting someone that we do not like. And
yeah, I seen that as well too. So are we starving out the whole chain? Because someone as well said that a lot of these, well, not necessarily that, but some of these restaurants and companies are franchises, meaning that they're not under by the main person who had said that, who owns the franchise. They had just bought into the franchise. They own their own separate business though, but it's under the name. I know
what you're talking about, but most people are ignorant and they don't know that, so they're just going to see it as the whole face of the company, and they're going to boycott.
So we want to boycott the franchise itself and not the small.
It's like you really don't want to, because you know some good people that's in there, because they have only so much of a budget to make, or they have certain skills in life where they can only do certain things, and fast food is usually the one that takes them up.
But I mean, I don't know, because I can't really speak, because I don't know. But I mean, I don't know like any. I don't know, because I don't know as far as African American that would own a Wendy's or
like it's starting to happen.
Those chains or so. Maybe a Pizza Hut, maybe.
I'm talking about like people that might be small.
My man, hanging on that knowledge is because motherfuckers fuck with Pizza Hut more than Wendy's.
Well, so. I mean, there's that, but it's like
you
still like I mean,
nuggets.
It all depends on No, it just depends on like.
Yes, fuck the nuggets.
I don't know, because I don't know who Rick Ross owns. I know Rick Ross owns more than a few different like food chains or so.
No, I mean, I feel like that type of information you talking about. I think we can literally look it up on Google, or anyone can.
But I think people should be knowledgeable on that and not just be so ignorant though to not look those type of things up. Not just to be so misguided sometimes. Like
I hate to say it, but we
like
are.
What you mean, like you,
because some people will just look at it just like, okay, they said don't shop here or don't do that, but not look into who and why. And
Absolutely.
Okay, got you.
Other things.
Usually it's always something trying to provoke it with the easy way with racism.
Yeah, like be intelligent about it.
Like how do we that makes good sense. I got some things to say about that, because Like, how some niggas will literally say don't buy, Prada or Gucci because, it's racist. But then they don't explain exactly why it's racist. And then it's like, if you show a bunch of pictures of shit that they have taken photos of where it's like low-key racist, then they'll convince a motherfucker not to buy there. But you guys just saying stop it because it's racist. It's like, that's not good. That's like telling your kid, stop, don't touch that. And we have a lot of little kid-ass people, grown-ass people that's kids at heart because they ignorant as hell.
You ever feel like you think you kind of sometimes, not you, but I'm saying like, or even you, Mo, like we get sometimes get trapped in like that white supremacy type of mentality or mindset?
Well, when you say trapped,
in which way? Say it.
I had
or elaborate.
Cause I'm about to. So like I have a friend of mine, and he's mixed and stuff. He's got I would say a Caucasian fiance. I think that's his fiance. But
we'll go
girlfriend then. He told me about because a lot of topics that I touch with you or Jeff Harris or anyone behind off camera and stuff like that, I have with him. And his take was, he's all like, you can't be thinking that there's not, like, from a big picture standpoint, he's all like, it's almost like we give them too much power. I'm like, you can't be thinking, well, obviously I'm not saying you can't think, or you're not thinking that all black folk are broke, you know what I'm saying? Or there's not franchise owners, or you know what I mean? He was basically telling me there's this, from a statistical standpoint, yes, there is more white millionaires than black millionaires, but there is a lot of black millionaires, and what he meant by that is there's way more than just the ones that we see on TV or that we hear about on the radio or anything like that.
I mean, well, millionaires, there's easily more millionaires. There's a lot of millionaires, but I mean, we're talking about like billionaires is a different.
Oh no, but here's the thing.
Millions nowadays equates to nothing.
But obviously they've had what do you call that? An advantage when it comes to this race, where they had a head start. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, we just, I feel like we as a people, we're gonna be breaking that billionaire fucking, you know what I'm saying? A status within the 5, maybe even 10 years,
even if you're still a billionaire, you still don't have enough.
I don't think you'll ever be able to. Period.
An Apache is $300 and something million. Like, you use that and you're already down just for one of those. Like, you still got to buy ammo and everything else for it. Like,
but his point was, but to kind of bring it back to like how our reality is and stuff like that. He was just talking about how basically give us more credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, we got to stop looking at us from like a negative light type of standpoint. Like, we still gotta hit this. We still gotta, like, yes, but see the beauty in it now. Like, be happy, be fortunate that we're living a lifetime when our parents or our great grandparents and stuff like that, they didn't get to see that. So to them, it was unbelievable. It's something that they couldn't reach. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I'm making sense.
I was gonna actually ask you, what are we talking about right now? I'm sorry.
Well, because you was talking about how, well, look how many, like, I don't think, black folk own Wendy's and maybe more Pizza Huts and stuff. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, of any of that, I don't think we really was to own any of those, to be honest. I mean, I don't know, to be honest. Right. I don't know the numbers. I haven't looked it up.
But that's what he was talking about. Like, cause he was telling me, he's like, yo, be like, we not all black folk, like, obviously live in the hood and this the other stuff. Not all black folk also live in the suburbs and this the other shit, or behind gated communities and shit like that. Like, there's literally black folk out here doing just fine. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, but like, it's even with that though, we're still not protesting against just like white people. It's against police brutality and just shit like that. So if anything, like, niggas should just be burning down the police stations. And
that's what I think too, personally. Like, instead of burning small businesses, y'all motherfuckers should have been burning the precincts and stuff like that. You know,
I mean, it is.
You're gonna have people that look at us like that's radical thinking. Then that's still radical thinking.
I mean, it shows something, but I mean, it can sway on either side on how you want to look at it. But with the shit that is being burnt down and rioted, there's provisions and things taken in place to replace all that shit for these motherfuckers. Not all, but who is to say that the ones that are being affected are the ones that are actually like
closer to the rioters?
No, that are actually out here doing shit or like fucking over people. Like if they are fucking over, go ahead. That's,
you know what?
If they're known to be one of them racist ass business owners, definitely loot them motherfuckers. But if not, I mean, you definitely shouldn't be fucking with they shit. Hey. But I mean, I can't speak. I don't know upon the places and where. But as what I was seeing though is too definitely like they got shit in places for that, and regardless of that, they're gonna start using the military and all this other shit. And regardless,
they already have.
Regardless of what the fuck we think we can do, these niggas got tactical training and all this other shit that we don't have to go up against these niggas with. Like we just would not survive. Like it just would not happen. Like
can I be
from this point on now? Like the only thing that we could do is literally learn and take it to a legal aspect, like, and hit these niggas to where they wouldn't expect it, the legal way, where they always get fucked over when you really know and shit. Other than that, like combat wise, the biggest countries won't even go against these niggas. Like
I don't know about that, B.
And they have
no, hold on.
But as well for that too, though, the motherfuckers that are in the army, like, it's still saddened because then they have to come fight their own people in their own hometown and shit like that. And to me it's just so fucked up and shit because a lot of people are willing to go fight other countries and to go to another country and fight people who are in poverty that can't even come touch us. They couldn't even fucking get on a plane because they ain't even got that type of money. They're willing to go fight there, but then when it comes to our country, like, are you willing to fight against us or are you willing to stand for us? Like, but if so, like I said, we got to do it a legal way and the smart way and shit because we don't need to have anyone's kids or anyone's parents being killed over this shit. Like, it's got to be a fucking better way.
Like, it gotta hurt your soul even if you want to just stay quiet on the sidelines.
And that's what I'm saying. If you're in the fucking army and then they're telling you got to go fight your own family members in your own hometown or somewhere, this, that, and other, like, how the fuck do you think that they feel and shit? Like, bro, because that's their bag. That's their bag.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna put a little comedic into this part because I'm gonna speak from a military
matter of fact,
experience.
exactly. That's what I was gonna ask you. How do you think, or how would you feel on that with me saying that? Because you were been in the army. How would you feel if they made you come and defend and fight against people who are trying to stand up for the United States?
Oh, okay.
That feels like that the United States isn't standing up for them.
So I'm gonna speak from my personal military experience. Because even when I was in the military, so let's speak on the guys that sign up to go fight outside our country, supposedly to protect our security and our well-being, and they're going out there to other countries and then fighting these what I call bullshit wars that they're not important. What's important is what's going on in our own homeland. But most of the real soldiers, and I'm gonna say real soldiers because I want to let y'all know, bruh, the National Guard and the military that's right now being mobilized in the country, all I got to say about that is I would not be threatened by them. I wouldn't even be worried about them. If you want to worry about their high upgrade Kevlar and their automatic weapons, even though they can't even turn automatic because they only goes burst fire or single shot. That's right. Anybody that's in the military knows that most of those M14s or M16s, any of those weapons or assault rifles, they can only go up to 3-round bursts, and some of them aren't even capable of 3-round bursts. It's just literally single automatics. But besides that, a lot of these National Guard folk, they not what you think as far as they're advanced in combat or anything like that. Don't ever get it twisted, bro. A lot of these fools are out of shape. A lot of these fools that I've personally met. Now, me, granted, again, from my personal experience, right? Hold on. A lot of these dudes are barely are barely physically fit from from military standards. They are when I was in the military, even the real soldiers, the ones that actually gone overseas and served, or even the OGs be like, yeah, this a whole different military now than what it was back then. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's regarding the National Guard. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Protests and stuff like that. I'm not saying that to incite anything. I'm not saying that so I'll be like, oh, start attacking the National Guard. But when I'm talking about threat wise, if the own military, if the own army that's not National Guard look at the National Guard and laugh at the National Guard, then what is that? That's more than to tell you.
Regardless of even that, they still have way more heavy advanced. Who the fuck you know in the hood with a tank?
Okay, that's what I said. That's what I said. Besides Kevlar, besides their weapons and stuff like that, combat wise,
but that's what they have over us. Regardless of combat, if that's the main thing you got, they got.
Then we need the folks from Chicago to stand the fuck up with, because all them fucking bazookas that I was seeing in them old ass videos were in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago. All these dudes with these high grade military fucking weapons. I'm like, where this shit at now? But anyways,
will a bazooka take down a tank though?
Nigga, I don't know, but it's something.
Okay, then.
It's better.
We don't got tanks.
Hold on, it's better than what they got now. But anyways, I don't know. See, this dude want to be extra negative.
No,
but anyways,
no, you're right.
You're never gonna see. Look, you're not gonna look. And for the folks that, and I say National Guard because they ignorant. A lot of those are ignorant. A lot of them they ain't even serve. Like outside, and no old too, bro. You've got 30, 40-year-olds have never gone overseas, bro. They have never gone overseas, and so because of that, they're only subjected to the little bubble that they live within this country. Now, I'm gonna speak on the people that are. When I say the ones that stay silent, right? Because they're just at fault here. Because you guys should be able to get the fuck up on the sidelines. A lot of the OGs that I personally met in the military that I actually served, and I call those the real veterans, the ones that actually deserve some of these fucking discounts and shit like that they get, right? Most of them, bro, when they come back from war, they look at it, this whole race thing, and like even the wars that is going outside the country, like all this shit, like it's all bullshit. It's not even worth it. They look at it like what's more important is the stuff here at home, but they look at it more even from a racial standpoint. Like the bigger picture to them is kind of like what me and you talk about sometimes, that is it really a race thing or is it more of a classism thing? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those guys just literally do their time or want to hurry up and do their time, so just they tap the fuck out. They just exit the board game, focus on what they're doing, and just coming up themselves. They look at all this like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's all. It's not that I want to pick my words here carefully. It's not that it does not matter, but to them it's like it's like one of these dudes like, bro, I just went overseas and I killed a kid from far away because the wars over there is not even like conventional war. Like I can see you from fucking 5 feet and go to war with you. It's like these dudes is just firing from fucking 300, 600 meters just far away. And then he's all like, when I realized it could be me that killed one of these kids because of his own beliefs and what they believe and how they see us and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? They come back all fucked up and they just look at it like all that shit don't matter. What really matters is, again, is just taking care of your not just yourself but your immediate selves. Coming with, being the best, just being the best human being possible. But my way of thinking when I hear that is, it's like a lot of folk, that's not enough, bro. Like, nah, okay, now that you know this, you sound like a great leader. Like, this military shit is one thing. You should be out here and expressing the same views and stuff like that. But a lot of these dudes just don't want to get involved in that in itself. And they know that the only thing that can change within this government is if we literally be the forefathers of this country, which is overthrow our own country, because that is how this country.
Have you seen any videos from there? Have you seen any videos of like? Because you said they've called in the National Guard, right? Have you seen any videos of the National Guard disrespecting anyone?
No, because I haven't gone specifically to look for it.
But police though, we made like
You mean?
CNN.
Oh, okay, I know what you mean.
No, so I haven't seen no army shit, not yet.
Okay,
but who knows? But you now are starting to see like the true cops of your city, like of the certain ones, and you see the ones who are the dirty fucking cops and the pieces of shit for real, for the ones that are like, I literally seen the video of them like fucking showing a elderly man along till he fucking fell. Yeah,
bro, and they gonna pick him up.
After they fucking push him down and shit. And it's like, come on now, like how fucking like piece of a shit do you have to fucking be? Like, bro, you a fucking piece of shit like for that type of shit.
Level of some demon level shit with
from personal look, bro, from personal experience, I was gonna say from the National Guard standpoint, from my personal experience, and from what I know from military, we don't fuck with cops.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
hold on, and like within the military themselves, we even have MPs, the military police, and we don't even fuck with the MPs because the MPs literally act like the cops that are literally out here in these streets. Gross. And the fucked up thing is, we don't have I feel like it's not like we look at it, we don't have a relationship, we don't want to have a relationship because we always look at it from a standpoint of we feel like we have the much better training than what they're getting into. Like, we despise the person that decided to become a cop. You're like, fuck it, I don't want to do college or the military. You know what I'm saying? Let me just. And it can happen. There's a lot of folks like that, and it happens more. And I'm gonna tell you how some of these even become city cops. Because a personal friend of mine, this is how he became a cop. He was rejected, I think, 2 or 3 times because he was applying for the Kansas City Police Department, and he was rejected twice. Damn. So he had a connect within the National Guard. He was his own sheriff or whatever, a deputy sheriff within his own little town, little fucking town and shit like that. And he told him, he's all like, well, you have a better chance of actually getting hired in these little towns. And if you put in work and stuff like that, experience on these little towns, with time, you can put in a request for you to get transferred into the city. You know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of game that he was giving him. So he did. He was. I think he was a deputy for a little hot minute and stuff like that. But he never. I think after a while he was like, man, this shit ain't for me. You know what I mean? Because I didn't see him continue pursuing that career and stuff like that. Yeah. But for that, I'm saying he had military experience. Like, he already had some type of discipline. You know, with this individual, he was a pretty straight arrow. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that like he was on some unity shit. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But we always looked at the cops like that. Like, when all this shit happened, we always look at it from insufficient fucking training. Like, the fact that you guys don't know how to like shoot and get y'all shit right when it comes to that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we looked at it. We pride ourselves in our accuracy because that's a lot of thing that we just do. We just target practicing and stuff like that. And
I mean, to me, I think a lot of the cops though are just people who just have like a lot of pent up anger, or just
it shows
wild, or just I don't know. It
really shows.
They just had a lot of fucked up shit in their head that they couldn't deal with, or whatever the case may fucking be, and they always felt just me from a speaking from a personal friend that I know who's trying to get into the to be a cop or so. Just they have a power trip or so basically. And they feel that they can go and be a police officer and get off on being a police officer because they're a police officer, that they can just do whatever and go like, oh, you know, I want to go fuck someone up. Let me go be a police officer and go fuck someone up. Like, because you're the law.
Is that the first associate that you know that is trying to become a cop, or do you want anybody that you used to know, or as a kid that went to school with, whatever, kicked it, or know of that just became cops, and you kind of look at them like, like, how the fuck did you become a cop? Like, or
no, I mean, there's some people that do want to do it like just to be a cop because they do want to help out in their community and just to go be a good person as a cop and shit like that. I'm not knocking those people, but there are literally some people that go be cops just because they know they can fuck people up and do this shit under the, like, as far as what they say, like being the law and doing the shit or so. Like,
man, on some petty shit. I kind of feel like if I knew you personally, you became a cop, I don't really want to fuck with you. Yeah, that's just personally how I internally feel, especially if you know the nigga down the street. Like, you know.
Well, no, because a lot of people though, like, either it's that, but then there's a lot of people though too that end up like were gang members and then went through a lot of shit though. And then, like, well, fuck it, they're gonna become cops though to try to clean up the streets and shit like that. There are people that
that's
are like
what my girl told me. Well, I'm not gonna say the majority of LA cops, but she was telling me that a lot of LA cops are just former gang bangers and shit like that.
Just like
and then they fuck
that's
up
how
other
they
gangs
cleaned up
and
the
shit.
streets. Supposedly, that's how they cleaned up the streets.
Some of them.
Well, she was talking about like East LA wise. She's like, you don't even see none of those cholos and shit like that. None of them fools posted or nothing like that. Not even in the alleyways or nothing like anywhere. You know what I mean? You just when I was walking around and stuff like that's what I was telling you. I'm like, man, the East LA that I was seeing in the movies.
Oh yeah, it's none of that.
This some tame ass shit that I'm sorry. Sorry, East LA, but I'm just being real with y'all. You know, remember this phase next time.
Oh yeah, nigga. Well, I was on what is that, like 57th and Western in Slauson or some shit like that, and they said that was supposed to be like it was a spot or so where it used to be hot. Like it's motherfucking Starbucks in that motherfucker on the corner of like Slauson and Western. Like it's a Starbucks.
The gentrification.
I'm telling you. But though, as well too, it still was pretty hood though, because on 2 blocks over from Western or so, there was a white Escalade burnt the fuck up, charred up, and it just sat there, nigga. And the whole time I was there, nigga, no one ever came and picked that bitch up, nigga. It was just charred. Like,
Starbucks with that, I would love to see that.
I'm telling you,
bro. I would actually go in that bitch just to say that we got a hood ass Starbucks.
I'm telling you, and all the homeless motherfuckers be in that motherfucker and shit, just chilling and shit.
That's too comfortable. No,
yeah, I mean they got it. They that's what they. I mean, but they just be in there anywhere chilling for real. To be honest,
like, phone, man, like shit. That's nasty. I stepped to some homeless dudes.
No, they generally got to at least buy something though to be in there, so they have to have something. Well, I guess a lot of homeless people have money.
Okay,
so
they homeless people with a little money.
A little money. Nothing to get a cappuccino. You know, a little frappe.
The homeless out there, don't compare them to don't compare them. I mean, yeah, they not like the homeless out here, B. They on some other shit.
The homeless are bold as fuck.
Oh, there? No. You want to know who the homeless is definitely bold at?
Where?
Is fucking Houston.
I believe it.
That nigga was walking up to the car with his sign. You don't remember that?
Nah.
There was a dude like walking up to the cars, like cars and shit, like pointing at his shit. Like, cause I didn't think about it till now. Like you saying that, like triggered it. Okay. But yeah, dude just walking up into the traffic as the lights are stopped. Like when you had a red light, this nigga just walking in between the cars.
Read this shit.
Hey, for real though, the KC ones here, bro. They are on that same level. They got that same energy.
No, I ain't seen them do that. They just sit on the side. They just sit on the side.
Nigga,
with the signs, yeah.
Today, a nigga over here.
They looking all down and shit.
Bro, this nigga was bold enough to walk up the whole fucking road with the sign in their face.
Oh no, they do like this up the street, up like the side of where they're at.
Exit coming off the freeway. That's where he's doing it. Just putting it in their face. Like, hey, give me some money.
Yeah. Where is this at again?
It was over here today by
No, these motherfuckers literally are like at the red light, bobbing and weaving in between the cars as you're at the red light coming up to your car. Yes, they're in, not just on the sides. They're in between the cars. Yes,
but it's like that's pretty bold.
Because a lot of those streets are like 3-4 laners and shit. And
they in the lane.
Fuck no.
They in the lane.
Nigga, you playing with your life with that? Fuck no. The Houston drivers
them
are
niggas
aggressive.
is homeless. What you mean? Every day they gotta play with life.
Nigga.
That boy said
all you gotta do is work a little hard, man. Shit.
But but back to the now cows being gang members and shit like that.
Oh yeah, back to that. He's all homeless niggas.
Yeah, so I mean, it gets really touchy on a lot of the subjects and shit. But I mean, if they not sitting there being overly aggressive or on your ass, or they just standing back letting you vent and take out your anger, that's cool. But the ones that just are overly vicious and just like how they like with the video that they showed of Casey on CNN, like dude was literally talking his shit, which is fine. He's venting, saying what he has to say, and then they literally come pull him out the crowd. pepper spray like him and whoever's around him, and then drag him out, and then like handcuff his ass up and shit. And they're like fucking pinning him down and shit. Y'all have not seen this video?
No, boy, I'm telling you,
it's literally at the plaza. It made CNN. Yes, it made CNN.
Out, bro, I'm telling you, bro.
Yes, no, this was even on just Facebook. Like I mean, on TV though too.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have not been on social media for the past 2 weeks, so
it literally was a young gentleman, African American, a young brother, and he was telling like they want shit, this, that, and other, that if they they weren't trying to be there to be good cops, that they need to take their ass home and shit, this, that, and other. And they came up to him, they tried to grab him, and then as they tried to grab him, other people were trying to block them from grabbing him, and they just started spraying him all in the face. Damn. And then snatched him and then just like drug him into the middle of the street.
Well, shit.
Yeah, the shit was fucked up. Like those motherfuckers like are just pieces of shit. Those they was waiting for some shit like this to pop off so that they can enforce their law and whatever the fuck they think that the rights that they have and all that shit. So as far as I've heard, there's even like the FBI is supposed to be looking into that shit now, like because of it. But I don't know. This is all speculation, so don't quote me on this.
Yeah, I definitely feel like my phone is bugged, bro. Because like I said, I keep getting text messages like this shit.
What the
Trump
fuck is you?
I tried to read out to you 8 times. Okay.
You see this shit, me? Look, bro. I'll be constantly every fucking day be getting shit like this.
Every day?
They want me to vote for Trump so bad. I don't even know how the fuck they got my number.
Bro, they are tapped into your phones, yes.
Like, my shit is bugged, bro. Like, they done got to me. You know what I'm saying?
And it's crazy, too. It's like the better your phone gets, the better the spyware gets on you.
Oh man, I need a new phone. Encrypted and everything.
I hate the fact that we gotta have phones. Cause it's like I'm carrying a piece of snitching equipment.
Definitely.
Like nigga, like bro, I kid you not. Like bro, this fucking tablet I use at work, bro. I swear. Like I gotta be driving, and like while I'm driving to the destination, the fucking audio turns on into the shit, just random out the shit. And I'm like, why the fuck that keep happening? And it's like, bro, I swear I be talking about some shit too on the show. And it's like, what the fuck y'all keep doing every time I drive?
That's funny, bro.
You know they watching your ass. Rob over there like, Oh no, you with Simlog now, ain't you?
Yeah, fuck that
never
dude.
Mind.
Oh, he's gonna. Oh, bro, he might commit suicide. What's gonna be done with him?
Nuh-uh.
That nigga doing coke again. He got caught in the parking lot by me.
No, you are. By you?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, he for real did a buck. I got there early enough because you know how that nigga be getting to work early. I was like, oh, whose car is that? I was like, that's Rob.
What?
That nigga. I'm like, nigga. I'm like, he back to doing coke. He's stressing on the
That
pressure.
nigga stressing.
Bro, the shit.
Boy, that nigga about to break, boy.
Like, it's so bad. Like
That nigga like Josh.
Bro.
I don't even know.
I hate how Gil don't know this. I wish he knew. He stayed so he can know this shit.
I don't even know how you could do that and be lifting all that shit and feel like oh, bro, hell no.
Same here. I don't know. They wildin'.
So
No, he doesn't. He's a manager. That nigga's like over everything. So he's air conditioned. He just got to deal with everybody.
Bro, his whole demeanor says bitch ass nigga.
Oh, definitely.
He's
yeah,
such
he a
a
bitch
word.
ass nigga. He is.
Like he built all weird. He's like, what the fuck are you like? Like if someone shaved your head, you look like a thumb.
This is how he be walking around and shit. Like he be all.
I don't know how he walk. He walk like a gym.
No, but he always got his shoulders all like. No, when he's talking, he always got his shoulders like this and shit. And he like,
just all weird and shit.
and you like, nigga, come on now.
This fool. That's funny.
Bro.
And he's like, hey, Jeff. And he try to tell you like a funny story and then tell you like where you done fucked up.
Yeah.
And then try to go back to a funny story. What they say like
it's it's not fucking funny. Shut your bitch ass up.
That sounds like a bitch ass motherfucker.
Bro, yeah.
Fuck is he talking about?
Hey,
like he trying to give you a funny joke, but at the backhand you with some negative.
Yeah.
Shit.
Hey, you want to hear something?
And they're like, this funny this one time. Ha 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 ha. I did this. Ha ha ha.
Hey, you want to hear something else funny? We found out this nigga wife cheated on him.
I'm pretty sure.
You know how much of not of a man he is. Damn. It's like, bro, he's such a bitch. It's like,
my man clinging to that manager position, boy.
Nigga, like
he just got it back. He just got it back. Just got it back as far as within like the past year or so.
Bro,
yeah, because he was here in KC, I believe, at one point in time. Then he went down to Texas. He got fired for being on some shit, I believe. And they hired his ass.
Nobody was considered for promotion.
But he had got fired before that, I believe, is even before that. But yeah, before the times I even was talking about, he got fired. Yeah, that time.
That boy stressing over y'all routes. That boy.
Nah, it ain't the routes. It's the fact that he's fucking up because we found out he was keeping some of that stimulus check money. Like if you know,
he was keeping some of the for the small businesses.
Like from what I heard from what niggas is gossiping about, this nigga was like you know how most big businesses got to pay their employees extra money for risking their lives to get COVID-19.
Yeah,
bro, it's like he kept that whole check.
Why everyone that's stepping in that position be taking advantage of niggas and always doing that? I keep hearing that. Everyone that always walks, everyone that's always in that position is always doing that. I hear like they always taking that extra shit off top or some shit like that. That's why the last nigga got walked out, that motherfucker, for taking too much off top. Like, damn, nigga, just get your bag and.
Well, it was. Well, the reason why the last guy got fired wasn't because of that. It was because he was trying to help some niggas out, but he chose the dumbest niggas to defend. Like, bro, he literally told a lot that cost him his job, and it's like, bro.
I heard though that he was working though too on the truck, and still claiming on time as he was working on the truck with other motherfuckers too, and getting paid from like other contractors.
Oh shit, I ain't hear that part.
Yo, I'm telling you, Nebraska Furniture Mart is a dirty business, boy. Bro, I'm not even entrenched in that shit, and boy, that shit sound dirty. It's for y'all motherfuckers make me not even want to shop there.
I stay too long, man. Like, bro, I want so much. Shit,
well, I wouldn't either. Everything overpriced in that bitch to begin with.
I mean, I can't say shit because I still shop there when I need it, but I don't buy that overpriced that shit. I just buy the cheap shit that looks decent, but not the cheap shit because they got some cheap shit. I get right in the middle of the cheap and the decent.
You got right kids, so you get a discount, man. You get
a discount. How I get a discount?
Not a discount. I'm talking, you get leisure on that because, what?
No, but if they had good quality stuff, I would spend the money because good quality stuff does last over time, opposed to buying the cheaper shit. I have learned that with some shit. When you take the cheaper route, that shit's gonna break faster.
I mean, you can get better furniture too because the kids get older and they can't really break shit.
Hell yeah. So damn, my nigga getting all up and shit, moving. This guy, he trying to check and shit. Yes, we are almost there on time. We're about like 15% left, if 10. 26. Oh, look at that. We got 26%.
That's 100% battery for you right there.
Woo, nigga, that's a yellow right
without
there.
Forcing it, boy.
You still driving the yellow for a little bit.
I'm telling you.
A little bit. If you got a Honda, you can go far with that.
So, I'm going to ask a question because I don't think this one was asked.
What was asked?
If you don't mind if I cut it in real quick, bro. So, what do you guys think is going to... how do you think this is going to end, or how do you think how are we going to transition?
Well, first off, this is the end of coronavirus.
So it says.
Yeah, I mean, it's what
it already is. It's done taking a backseat to George Floyd and everything that's going on with the protests and the riots.
Yeah, but did you see that shit though that they try to post saying that 1,900 people caught the coronavirus during these things? But ain't none of these motherfuckers went and got tested. Like, who the fuck is doing these riots and then going and getting tested?
Testings right after the riots.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, come on now. Who the fuck they think they lying to?
Like, for real.
Man, they
are enjoying themselves.
Well, they ain't fooling the individuals on this damn table. I'll tell you that much. No. But when you hear this shit on the fucking news,
so coronavirus is taking the back seat now. Yeah. It's about to be just thrown out the window next. People are going to be forgetting about that, and they're going to continue on to this, and then from there, this is going to happen, and then they're just going to. They're more than most likely they're going to go ahead and charge all these. These cops. They're going to charge them in some sort of type of way, and then they're going to make it seem like, oh, hoorah, we saved the day and we took care of what needs to be done, and then they're just gonna try to shoo it under the rug and make us forget about it, like that as if make it seem like as if we had the win when they're still doing this shit. Yeah, and then it's just gonna keep continuing, basically, like.
And it's not for us to be insensitive. This is just us trying to figure out how people are gonna be exploiting what's going on right now. It's all about the exploitation. Like that's all I'll be focused on myself. And why all these people exploiting this shit. Shit is unfortunately being exploited. George Floyd and his death and all that stuff, man. He's definitely being exploited and shit.
So the only thing we can do from here is just see where it goes. We gotta definitely start getting more informed on shit and making that shit more spread on what the hell we can and and can't do, and what we need to start doing to make sure that this shit don't happen no more, to really prevent this shit. Like, what legally do we need to start doing? What legal actions do we need to start taking? Like, but not these taking arms shit.
I'm gonna speak for the people. So where do we start? Where would you?
Well, definitely taking arms, but not like
for the joy of it.
Yes, exactly. Not for the joy of it.
Damn, that was smart.
Exactly what I mean. But definitely still standing up, cause me, if I would have seen that shit really fucking falling out, like just how I felt in that moment, I really can't speak, because they say there's a thing is like bystander shock or some shit like that, where you just get caught in the moment and you can't move in your shock, or bystander shock, whatever the fuck it is. Like, I would just hope that something literally kicked into me where I would fucking run and kick one of them niggas, like kick them and run, like kick that nigga off and then run. If they shoot me while I'm running, it fucking happens, but stop that shit from fucking happening to where then the next nigga will do it, and then it really fucking starts.
Oh yeah,
shit.
just like,
but I mean,
just like that stadium in Brazil with that soccer game.
But don't just be naive though about the shit though too as well.
Smart.
Like, be smart about this shit though. Like,
well,
bystander shock.
It's terrible.
Can you put more detail into that? Do you think that's obviously that's psychological?
Just when you see something going on, even it could be like as far as the police brutality, someone being raped, someone being stabbed, and people just standing by watching it, and then as well too, someone thinking that someone else is going to call the cops, and so no one calls the cops because they're like, oh, someone else is going to be doing it. Someone else got to call the cops, and then out of that whole thing, no one ends up calling the cops.
Yeah, we definitely have to question ourselves regarding that, and why.
Question
like,
a lot of things.
Why did I not move? Why didn't I pick up the phone? Why didn't I just fuck it?
Well, you gonna pick the phone up?
Even if I got
just
hit,
interfere for real, because the fuck are the cops gonna do? More than most likely, they're gonna be there late, and then they're gonna turn some shit into some whole other shit.
Be the martyr.
I really do feel like we in a generation where we just in it for ourselves. We just not. It's because I was having that conversation with my girl, and like she would like for me to focus more, like 100% more on just us, and then helping us and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I would love to. I said, I'm agreeing. I agree with you. I was like, because if I were to do that, then progression wise, who knows, right? But I said I can't help it. I can't fight that. I can't fight that.
Someone can say that as well too, but you also got to think about, like I was thinking about how earlier and shit. Like, sometimes I feel I get lost in my own shit because I'm only thinking of myself, and I'm like, fuck, where can I go next, or what the hell can I do? But I feel like sometimes the answer sometimes lie in helping other people. Like, some of the greatest things that were invented and made were made because people were thinking of some other people, and how can I make things easier for other people? How could I help other people out? And in that, they end up finding their life's work on what they're going to do is, oh, I wanted to help, and I found that I wanted to do this and help out in this type of way. So we definitely got to change it from just inner self. You do got to think about yourself, but start thinking about other people in other ways and how to change other people and help other people. And from there, you always are going to find how to make a difference. Then it's, how can I help other people, or how can I make a change, and how can I do that, and how can I help? What do I have to offer? And then once you do that and you can find that out, then you can make the world of a fucking difference, besides just looking at how can I change myself, and how can I do me, and how can myself, and how can I, like, but once you start looking at other people, how can I help others and help change what shit is, then you really get a different perspective of things and a broader look of shit. Like, but yeah, I mean, that's just being what I was thinking of though earlier.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Because I've just always been one of them people that, even though I do always think of myself, I'm always a nigga that has always been helping and doing things as well too. And I don't like to record and post them, the shit that I do, because I feel like it just is kind of pointless sometimes. But sometimes you do have to do it, because there are a lot of famous people and people who do have money that do things, but they go unnoticed, and people don't see them because they don't post them and they don't show them. And then sometimes people will speak in a negative light about people, but not even knowing the shit that they do in silence, that they don't even speak of, and that you only may hear of once they pass away or some shit like that. So sometimes you do got to show that shit though too. Like, because there's plenty of times where I'll give out $100 bills to fuckers, like motherfuckers on the side of the street or whatever, whether it be like a homeless person or it be like kids out there who are like out there for their basketball team or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just $100 bill at the store, fucking with people and shit. I've been at the grocery stores before as well too and shit, and I was there during like the beginning of this pandemic shit or so, and I'm in line and someone's just telling me like, just give this lady $100, and it was the cashier or so I just pulled out $100. I gave her $100, and she just started crying, and she came up to me and gave me a hug, and she's like, you don't know how much I really needed this right now. And I couldn't help but to almost cry as well too, because it's like just something just told me like, just give it to her. Like I'm good, I'm fine, I'm taken care of. Like what the hell do I give a fuck? If it's gonna help her and make her day better, then I'll be to it. And so I just act on that shit. Whenever I get that feeling, I just do that shit. Like I never think about it and shit. And there has been times that I have done that before, and the shit I heard that I was fucked over in this sense before. I've been fucked over by gypsies that I had seen a whole family on the side of the road that I handed hella money to, pulled out hella money, gave it to them. Come to find out they were gypsies and they travel around the fucking states and they do that and shit. Yeah.
What happened to you?
They just were sitting on the side of the road by Walmart, and it was like a lady, here, and she was sitting there with like her two kids, and her kids had no shoes on or anything, and their clothes were all tattered and all that shit. And I'm like, damn, like I just got my income tax and all that, and I'm cool. So I'm like, fuck it, I went into the bank, pulled out the fucking money, and just went and gave it to her and was like, make sure y'all get into a place and get taken care of, this, that, and other. And then come to find out, one of the people that worked at Chipotle, one of the employees, they owned a hotel. And she said that I guess it was a whole family of gypsies, like 20 of them that came to stay at their hotel or some shit like that. And like I said, that they do that shit, that they just go around and they get people for their money and shit like that. But I mean, it like I said, it was what it was, but I did it in good gesture, so I didn't give a fuck.
Like I have really mixed emotions about that, just because it's like I remember back when like where they first started, I like kind of did a documentary on their history for the gypsies, and then like it's like they've been getting better. They made it on TV. They make TV shows with gypsies now. And I'm thinking, okay, gypsies is actually not having to go through this hustle no more.
They be having money.
But it's like they have money, but it's like they can get it the right. I thought they made it up that way where they can start making money the right way, legitimately. But
some of them probably do.
But it's like I know there's still some that do that because I've seen it. But it's just like some that's still doing that begging shit now and still fooling people.
But I think they're all really doing basically that for real. Or some shit sort of it. Because I mean, what is a gypsy? Like a gypsy.
It's like, why the fuck are you ruining your people's name? Y'all came up a long way to do right, and you come here and fuck it up still doing it in the new time era, and it's like that should be done by now.
I thought a gypsy was just a person that traveled around, like just they really didn't have a home.
Yeah, but I thought they at least get cemented down and just stay.
No. Gypsies are just people who travel, like. They don't have a home. They just like.
You know what? Now I think about it, you're right. They do be learning like they know hella languages.
Generally, like they'll be like circus people or some shit like that. I believe. I
have a very ignorant perception of gypsies.
I can tell.
Blame the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Nigga, get the fuck out of here. That was it's like that's a good movie for the kids.
I'm just putting it out there, y'all.
Real talk,
I clearly say I have an ignorant mind about my perception of. I don't even think we're supposed to call them that. I don't even know.
Hunchbacks. No. Oh, gypsies? No, they're fine with gypsies. They have a whole show called the Gypsy some shit like that. Yeah, gypsy weddings or something like that.
Dresses. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all on, man?
Yeah,
them dresses ugly.
Blame Disney for that one.
But nigga, I'm trying to figure out. You talking about the movie, but have you ever heard the whole story about that?
About the gypsies in the movie?
No, not the gypsy. Well, it does have something involved with the gypsy, but remember the one girl Esmeralda?
That's the gypsy.
Yeah. Okay, so they say she died because she actually dies in the story.
Oh yeah. No. I mean, let's be honest, y'all. The way the Hunchback of Notre Dame is morbid as fuck. I mean, they literally.
I have to watch that because I only watched it when I was young, and I don't remember none of that.
They're displaying the Roman Catholic or the Christianity beliefs. They were gonna burn Esmeralda
for being a witch.
Yeah, because that's what they thought she was, a witch. You know what I mean? Because she didn't abide by God, so they were gonna burn her in front of everybody. But in the movie, obviously, she gets saved by the hunchback.
But the one thing that they kept real was the fact that that old guy had a thing for Esmeralda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he actually gets her killed in the fucking book. Notre Dame dies. He dies too. He literally dies of starvation next to Esmeralda's corpse that he dug up from a grave. I'm like, nigga,
that's some savage.
You see what I'm talking about? I know too much of white stories,
PTSD, man.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, them European folktale stories are depressing as fuck, and they made our movies of them shits. Oh my God. They're all deep.
He's right. Yeah,
oh my God, it's like, why the fuck would you make a movie of that?
As above, so below, ladies and gentlemen.
I know the positive, I know the dark and the light. It's terrible.
Well, moving on. Yeah. No, hopefully this weekend is a better weekend. Getting shed into some better light. My daddy hit me up.
Yeah.
That nigga said he on vacation, so
that's where he's at.
I'm gonna be having a birthday, not a birthday, a barbecue more than most likely this weekend. So definitely stay tuned. I got that brisket in the deep freezer and them slabs of ribs. So a nigga gonna have that smoker going.
Okay,
it's gonna be heat.
Oh shit, it's Father's Day, ain't it?
No, that's like the 21st or some shit. To be honest, I really don't know. My girl got it marked for the 21st, but it could even be later. Or no, earlier. I mean, who knows?
I hope I'm invited.
Oh, of course you're invited. Us, I know, right?
I know.
Goofy ass.
All right, so Father's Day is on the 21st.
Okay.
That's damn. Is it normally the end of the fucking month?
I don't even.
Damn, why can't we get the beginning of the month and shit? Like, damn.
It's different, bro. Girls
give us the end. They give them time to stack up them checks. Nah.
I ain't gonna lie, girls really do have it sweet for Mother's Day. Like, niggas, everybody loves their moms. Most of us. Like, there's people out there that really don't like their moms, but we know that, Tyler. But yeah, most people love their moms and shit. But man, it's like women ain't gotta do shit. We literally like kind of like slaves to them a little bit, waiting on them hand and foot a little bit.
Unless you live in a bachelor's life.
I ain't gonna lie, some people actually do that. I'm like, that's crazy to me. But when it's like the other way around, it's like, damn.
Oh shit!
The dad gotta fucking cook. He gotta barbecue his own. He gotta cook for his own fucking day.
His own day?
Yeah, like everybody. Like I ain't realize until I start realizing. Like I be seeing my dad too. Like for Father's Day, he grilling. It's like you shouldn't have to grill. You should be going out in restaurants or something like that. And I'm paying for it.
Daddy's more than most likely dads want to be at home on Father's Day. They don't want to be at no damn restaurant. They want to be in their house, their yard, grilling. Just because they can cook that shit themselves.
Hey, when you got a dad that's kind of a kid at heart still, it's like, shit, nigga, I want to go out to eat to these new restaurants because I've been putting my family on some new restaurants and food, and they are loving the fuck out of it.
You right.
So it's like, nigga, I want to enjoy what you enjoy. And I'm like, here, enjoy.
Well, hell yeah. It's been a good ass night with y'all. I've definitely enjoyed tonight's discussions and hearing y'all opinions on what y'all had to say.
I'm sharing it.
I'm sharing.
More to come for sure, man.
Definitely.
I'm dumb as fuck here. Thank
y'all already
for
know.
quitting the podcast. I ain't quitting this shit, boy.
It's Jeffin with the homies.
I'm staying here.
It's your boy Jeff. We got the homie Gil.
Raptor.
And the boy Melvin.
Chocolate City.
Yeah, and we out. I love y'all.
Deuces. Blesses.
Why am I saying Chocolate City?
Loves.